Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to introduce my husband Mike to you guys,
Hey.
and we wanted to talk a little bit about everything that's been going on for us recently, and some things God has been using to encourage us. So we wanted to share that with you guys. So we wanted to share our story with you in case it would encourage you, since people are facing similar things. So we are sharing this for those of you who are believers, and you're welcome to stick around if you are not a believer, but you might not understand where we're coming from.
So I just wanted to share with you guys how God has been encouraging us through this time. He used a dream. So my first experience with hearing from God in dreams was way back before I even knew that it was a way that God would communicate to believers. I had a dream that I was probably maybe 14 at the time, something like that, and I had never had a dream like this before, but it was just like it kind of stood out. I can't really define why it stuck with me, but back at that time, I usually dreamed in like black and white, and it was more just like gradients of black and white and emotions than actual scenes and events. And so, kind of in the middle of that, I had this dream that was very crisp and clear, and the storyline flowed and made sense. And in this dream, I kept meeting people, different people who I knew at the time, that I kept meeting in this dream. And for a year or two after that, I couldn't piece together why I had met these individuals in that dream. And then later on, I faced depression for the first time in my life, and it was at that point that I was able to stitch together that all those people that I'd been seeing in that dream were people I knew who had been facing depression. And this was a dream that I had had years prior to actually finding out that certain people in that dream were depressed. That was my first experience with getting a dream from God that was basically predicting future events that I had no way to know were coming. So after that, I've kind of known that God speaks to me in dreams. I've gotten counseling, and I am not facing depression anymore. That was something I faced a while back. Just to let you know that. But since then, I have known now that God speaks to me a lot of times through dreams, and I've gotten many more dreams that predict the future or just outline what's happening in a situation, and it makes it a lot clearer and helps me understand. Usually it's just like God saying, I'm here, and don't worry, because he explains the situation. It's really clear, and it just helps me rest that God has his plan in motion and I don't have to worry about it. So at the beginning of the year, I had a dream that there was a nuke that detonated nearby. Now, a lot of times in dreams, prophetic dreams, things are actually symbols, and they're not. It doesn't mean like there was a literal nuke going to go off, but something of nuke proportions was going to happen. So in the dream, Mindy and I, we dove for cover in our house, and the nuke went off, and it blew over the top of the house and didn't actually knock the house down. And the ground shook. It was really scary, but in the end, we got up and we were okay. And so I was expecting, because of that, I was expecting something really big to happen of nuke proportions, to this year. And so when we lost the house, it wasn't completely unexpected. I didn't know what it was going to look like. I just knew it was going to be something big and completely life altering, changing our state of life.
And we did get back up and start living like a different life, but we like got back up and we were okay.
So shortly after we lost the house, we were both really discouraged and weren't sure, where we were going or what we were supposed to do, and it was just really a very, very low spot for us. And we were seeking God on things and asking Him about the situation and plans for what we should do. And during that week, I was awake. It was the morning. I had woken up and I was laying in bed. I still had my eyes closed, but I was awake, and I got a vision, you would call it. So I had my eyes closed, and this scene opened up in front of me in my mind's eye. I was standing in the clouds, basically a large flat plane in the clouds, and in front of me there was a gap stretching right and left as far as I could see, maybe 25, 50 feet gap in the clouds. So if you would step into it, you would just fall down from cloud height. And across the gap, I looked up, and there were some angels across there looking over at me, and they called out and they said, "Just cross over by faith." And so I stepped forward and took a step onto nothing in this gap. And when I took that step, after I took the step, when my foot was meeting level, a footprint shaped piece of crystal came up and met my foot and supported my weight. And then I leaned forward and I took another step, and then another piece of crystal came up and met, and I continued doing that until I crossed over the gap. And then the vision was over. So that was, in the middle of that discouraging time, it was very encouraging, because I knew God was in this, even in this dark time, and He's got plans for us. And I take it to be that gap is the situation that we're facing now, and to get across, we just have to keep stepping. And I also noticed that every time I had to take the step first before that supernatural confirmation came up and met my foot. And so we've been living like that the past few weeks, just kind of praying about what the next step is, and then taking it, and then God usually confirms it, or He does when we take the right step, and God confirms that was the right step. But it takes us finding the step and stepping first, and then He confirms it. So that's how we've been living right now, and it's how we plan to continue stepping forward until we get past this time, this hard time. So that was very encouraging in the middle of all of this, and that's kind of why we've been more encouraged lately, because we can see that there is a path going forward, and that God is in all of this, and He has a plan to bring us out of it as well. So just wanted to share that with you guys. That's what we're going through right now, and what God is doing in our lives right now.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this time with us, and let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you guys in the next video.